right. So episode 21, we had a little bit of a hiatus. If you were listening to us, life is life. But here we are, we're back. This is Anna Dornier, and I am with,
Mubarak and Sakarije.
and welcome back to Organic Reach X podcast. And today we're going to stay true to our name. We actually don't have notes. We literally decided, okay, before we started recording, we've been talking for almost an hour already. It's like, okay, let's not follow what we planned out. Let's talk about the topic that resonates with us the most because we feel that if we're feeling that, right? Most likely, the realizations, the wisdom that we can get from this experience is gonna be relevant to the listener even more, right? When we do it this way. So, Mubarak, you started talking about giving versus sharing.
Yes.
It's a new perspective that I haven't heard before. Of course, we're all familiar with the concept of giving. We're familiar with the concept of sharing, but like putting it in this kind of discussion is
Mhm.
new, right?
Mhm.
So, can you give us a little bit of concept to this giving versus sharing concept, and then you can maybe ask me questions like you said you were going to put me on the spot. I don't know how, but just go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, Anna, let me ask you, uh, what do you own on this planet? From really on a deeper level, what do you own?
My life, my time,
Hmm? Hmm?
my life, and my time. Actually, I don't even own that.
There you go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
In a
yeah,
true sense, when you look at it, we came naked with nothing.
yeah,
We Everything else we find it here. So did we gonna do it? We're gonna leave it here,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So from just that perspective, when you choose because to live that life, you're sharing everything that you found here with other people,
yeah,
right? At some point, yes, you may possess something. Let's say, oh, I own this headphone, but for how long?
yeah,
I own this clothing. For how long am I going to own it? Right? So I choose to look at it. I'm saying, okay, yeah, I don't own anything. What if I can come from that place of not owning anything, but sharing everything? Because I found them here and I'm going to leave them here,
yeah.
right? Because we talked about what did you give to wake up in the morning? It's one
Right.
of the podcasts that we talked
The
about,
previous episode, yeah,
the previous episode, right? So if really you didn't give any bribe and anything else, someone else did something, whatever power you believe in, God chose you to be here, but there's nothing you came with. You're using the things you're finding here. So meaning you're sharing, right? So what if that's where you come from a place of sharing, not thinking that you own anything? Because when you're giving, it means that you own something that I have the rights on it. Now I'm going to give it to people. That's
right,
okay. It has its place. I'm not arguing with that. So
yeah,
please, whoever is listening, don't think I'm saying that giving doesn't have its place. In a life experience and to be able to have order, right, and avoiding chaos, yeah, people want to own things temporarily. Let's call it that. There's no permanent ownership, right? But now let's assume that's a place that you're coming from of sharing, right? Anna, you're married.
mhm.
Does your husband own you, or do you own him?
No, neither.
Huh. Yes. What does that mean? That means that you didn't give yourself to him, nor did he give himself to you.
Hmm.
But you chose to share life together.
Yeah,
See? So just coming from that place too of sharing life, isn't it really speedier than saying that someone, oh, I gave myself to someone? That means
right,
that then there is nothing left. As I mentioned, that Anna, there's this fund here, all right?
mm,
I use it on a daily
yeah,
basis.
yeah,
What do you think what would resonate more, to give it to you or sharing it with you? What would really, can you imagine if that's the place you're coming from? right?
Yeah.
Let's share the phone versus let me give you the phone. When I'm
Yeah.
giving you the phone, that means I'm going to live, I'm not going to have, and you're going to have something. Then
Right.
it's going to create imbalance,
Yeah.
right? You know, so in a business sense, right, you're gifted, whoever who is listening to this.
Hmm.
The skills and the services that you bring to the marketplace, those are the gifts that you have been gifted on this planet. So
Yeah.
think from, if you give them away, what does it say? Psychologically, that means that you're going to have nothing left.
Right.
But what if you're sharing them? Hmm? Just think for a moment who is listening, and you, Anna, the gift that you have. What if you come a place of sharing them, not giving them away?
Hmm.
The common one is people says, "Oh, can you give me your time?" Come on, how can I give you my time?
Yeah.
Right there, you just created a lack that you're gonna take my time and I'm gonna left with nothing. But what if you change it? Can you share the time with me? That
Yeah. I
has a
like that.
completely different feeling, right? You know, we are in what I want to share with you. I believe I'm the best coach in whatever I do, right?
Yeah.
So I've been upgrading my skill set from being a coach, and I started thinking about my, okay, am I going to give a coaching session or I'm going to share the experience of coaching? And just shifting that says, hey,
Yeah.
let me share with you the coaching experience that I have. There's something that changed my life. I'm not giving them anything because this is what people don't understand. When you share, both of you benefit.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not someone is taking something and you're not having something.
Yeah. It's a win-win situation,
It's a
basically.
win-win situation, but
Yeah.
also it doesn't create guilt on the other side.
Hmm.
Because most of the time, especially in coaching experience or services, if we, let's say, oh, I'm going to give you a free session, I'm creating guilt on the other side that he's taking something from you.
Yeah.
But what if you change? Let's share this session. I want to share with you this experience, right?
Yeah.
It creates intimacy in that itself, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So I've been dabbling so much. I know this is a new things to you, Anna. So far, what I have shared with you, what is your takeaway, and how do you see it being a new paradigm of operating?
Yeah. So first, the just if you just feel the energy of
Mhm,
giving versus sharing, totally different energies, like you said,
mhm,
right? Just if you don't even think of what the meaning of it, they have a totally different energy to it when you like say it out loud or even think about it, right?
mhm,
And it's amazing how just a few letters in between or before the ing, right,
mhm,
changes that feeling and that perspective. And how when you put it in context of whatever it is that you're doing, it also shifts that perspective. It's
mhm,
amazing how a few letters can make that
mhm,
shift.
mhm,
And I do agree with that. I love this concept of sharing versus giving because, like I said, it's it has that compassion in
mhm,
there, and then it doesn't take away from the other party, like you
mhm,
said, and I like that. So I want to kind of dig a little bit deeper here as to like what which instances can you remember that you can share with us where like this was just like, wow, this is such a powerful concept? You can talk
mhm,
about one, you can talk about a couple, depending on how long each one is.
mhm, mhm. One of mine that I have talked about in law many times, but I never added the aspect of sharing and versus giving is relationship building, right? When you build relationship with people, right? I found out it was a subconscious because again, Anna, you bring this many things since we started working together. But like, oh, this thing is so organic to you. I'm like, oh yeah, well, you need to share it more, right? So I have been studying, going back and seeing how I live and how I do things, and started like, okay, why this, right? So For example, at beginning of September, I hosted an event, you know, and that event was again the same thing, right? It came from a place of sharing, not giving, right? Because I asked a friend, I'm like, hey, now you met, let's say me and you, Anna, and we know a common friend, let's say Wilson, right? Wilson, right? So let's assume that you knew Wilson before me.
Yeah.
Okay? You knew Wilson before me. I didn't know who Wilson was. What would feel better for you? Would it feel better to say, hey, Mubarak, I'm giving you Wilson, or I'm sharing Wilson with you?
Mm. Yeah.
Because giving, that's why most of the time, that's where we come from on a subconscious level. We think me introducing you to someone, I'm giving away that person.
Yeah.
But no, you're not giving them away. You're sharing them away. And guess what? When you're sharing, it's completely different chemistry. Because then three of us wins.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
not one person is going to win that game. No, three of us. So Wilson is going to benefit to know Mubarak, and Mubarak is going to appreciate what Anna has done, that he has shared someone who has good life experience with them. Now I get to take part in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So you didn't lose. It's a win-win. So thinking from that perspective, and I started talking from other aspects. For example, Anna, let's say you have a bag is full of 1 million,
Mm-hmm.
right? Most people think from a place of giving. What if, because when you're giving, at one point that bag is going to be empty.
Right.
But what if you're
I missed that question.
yeah,
My.
I'm like, what if you're sharing instead of giving away the $1 million that you have?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally different.
Because if you're sharing, doesn't mean that you're taking part into the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does make sense? So
Yes.
Anna, here's a plate of food. Anna, let's share this plate of food. See, completely different experience, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I started looking at why my relationships means everything to me, and how they keep getting bigger and bigger. It's that concept of sharing with them, with others. I'm
Yeah.
not giving away my friendship. I'm giving away. Then I'm like, what if I can take it to money? What if I can take it to abundance, love, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if I can start sharing my love with the universe, sharing my
Right.
abundance with the world? I'm not giving away my love.
Yeah.
So you see, I'm sharing it,
Yeah.
So it completely changed everything, right? Now I no longer say, hey, can you give me 10 minutes of your time? No. Can you give me an honor to share 10 minutes of your time with me?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to share? So for you who is listening, do experiment. For people who have said no to you, approach them from a place of sharing, not taking
Mm.
anything from them, and see how it's going to change your life, right? So we talk in a business that the most number one thing you can do is attract more people to you. Your business, you have a service, you have everything. Now, thinking about it from a sharing experience, not giving them or taking away from them.
Yeah.
Next time you say, hey, could you share 10 minutes with me? First of all, they will say, excuse me, what? Yeah, then even take time to explain to them that, hey, I'm not going to take away anything. I just want to share. There's some things that I want to share with you. So
Yeah.
I have these things I want to share with you. Can you bring the time at 10 minutes with me too? So there's an exchange of now that they're not going to take away anything. We're gonna share together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this came up just it's not necessarily giving versus sharing, but like selling versus sharing, right? This comes up in business, especially if you're like a new business owner, entrepreneur, and you're selling your services for the first time. There's a lot of fear of rejection around
Mhm,
sales and selling your product, right? It doesn't even have to be your own product. It could be somebody else's product, but that rejection.
mhm,
And I've mentioned, and even I've mentioned this in Organic Reach Lead Secrets as well, as far as you're not selling to anyone when you're posting on social media. You're sharing, right? You're sharing the experience, the skills, the gifts, the wisdom that has helped you overcome something, right?
mhm.
And you mentioned the word disservice earlier while we were chatting off record. And it will be a disservice if that
Yeah.
specific thing has changed your life and you're not sharing it with the world, that's a disservice, right?
Yes.
And I think that's what a lot of new entrepreneurs who are inexperienced with the sales part kind of it gets in the way of them sharing
Mhm,
their programs products, right?
mhm,
Because of that fear of rejection, because they're thinking, oh, I have to sell this,
mhm, mhm,
right? Whereas
mhm,
you're just sharing your breakthrough through whatever
mhm,
product or program it was that brought you to that, to even creating that, or to even be connected to that product if it's somebody else's product,
mhm.
right? So yeah,
And fun enough, Anna, this has been the reason why giving is a big thing, or whenever from a mindset, whatever, as you said, sharing versus selling. Most people don't want to sell.
yes, and don't
No,
want to be sold.
exactly. So, but Anna, what lesson from what we're talking about right now that your parents taught you from young age, when you just being conscious, right, and you're being greedy with your toys and everything,
Yes,
did
yes,
your mom come and tell you give away your toys? What did they say to touch your heart?
it's fair.
Aha. What are
Yeah,
you
even
teaching better? What are you
yeah,
teaching better? And your son, right, you're telling sharing is caring.
right, right, right.
Just think of sharing is caring.
Yeah,
So from young age we've been trained to share, not to give. Nobody wants to give away their toys. No,
mhm,
no one wants to give away anything.
right.
you know so I believe at this stage in my life that as words are nothing but meaning, I believe, Anna, that we have came for whatever reason to change sharing to giving,
Mm,
right? But even though the action itself could be sharing, as soon as you name it giving, it changes the psychology. It feels like it's not the right thing to do. So
yeah,
I'm saying let's go back for most of the things we have done in our life that we were sharing. The action itself was sharing, but the belief we have was giving. There's so many things in your life. For example, you as the business owner who is listening right now, stop thinking that you're giving people anything, because you're not. You're sharing whatever you have been gifted. And when it comes to, do you think when you share, let's say, Anna, I'm sharing this story with you, did I lose it in my head?
nope,
We're sharing this podcast with the listeners. Now, 1,000 millions people, when they hear to this, did we lose anything?
nope,
What if that's the place we come from?
yeah,
You know? And that's why for me, I love saying, my job on this planet Earth is to support and serve.
mm,
You know, isn't it what we do as parents with our
yeah,
children? Our job, I know, in their life is to support them in their development,
yeah,
is to serve them through that growth. And what if you can all do that while you're sharing them with your journey?
Yeah.
What if the same things you brought it to the business table? Especially for those of you who are in service business. Think about it. That every time you're not sharing your services to other people, you're doing something a great value to the universe, because
Yeah.
that means you're staying with it. But the more people you can share with them, the more impact you're going to make. And that's
Yeah.
what we are all about here at Organic Reach X.
Yeah. Also, with Mubarak, I thought of this earlier while you were talking, but I didn't want to interrupt. As far as when you say the giving, and then when you give something, you basically like don't not left with anything, right? The mindset behind that too, if you say I'm giving this to you, is like now you have this lack mentality, right? That you're left with. And then also with what you just said, as far as you not sharing your gifts to the world, right? You basically also create lack for yourself, because with that sharing, there's going to be a value exchange,
Mhm,
right? With what money or whatever it is, right? So you're doing yourself a disservice as well as the people that you were meant to serve by
mhm,
not going out there and sharing,
mhm,
right? So it,
mhm,
it goes both ways. It's a win-win when you
mhm,
share, and then it's a lose-lose when you don't.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
And from a gratitude point of view, too, let's go a little bit spiritual here, right? When your gratitude comes from where? From a place of sharing. When you have something and you share it, it's a gratitude thing. It's that
Mhm.
I've been blessed with something.
Yeah.
Now I'm sharing it with other people. It's a sign of gratitude,
Yeah.
right? So now think about whatever you have been gifted with. Let's say it's money, right? When someone has a service that they're sharing with you, you too, when you feel that I'm not buying, I'm sharing this gift of wealth with these people, right? With whoever who is serving you. You see? So imagine the energy
Yeah.
that's giving, that serving that you with your wealth, right? Let's say you go to a store buying anything. Instead of you think that you're buying, no, I have been gifted with this $100. Now I have opportunity to share it with this person who's sharing with me something in exchange, right? Just
Yeah.
think about the energy that
Yeah.
you're doing. And also now you're doing more, because it's all about the intention behind the action,
Mm.
right? Because if you're gonna buy something with resentment, right, feeling that
Totally.
oh my god, oh my, no, just think about it.
Yeah.
But now, what if you change the intention behind the buying? That you're not gonna lose $100, but you're sharing
Yeah.
it, because now it's common good. It's not a one, meaning that oh, I'm giving them this my
One
hundred
way.
dollars. Yes, it's one way. No, it's a two-way journey.
Yeah.
So I
Also,
encourage, yeah.
one more thing. So with that gratitude too, you're putting yourself in a place of the energy of receiving something, right? Because when are you grateful? It's when you receive something, when you acknowledge that you receive something. And so you then embody that place of I'm receiving something,
Mhm,
in return for that gratitude. But
mhm.
it's a natural progression, because that's when we're grateful, is when we receive something, right?
Yes, and uh, again, we read books, right? We listen to people with wisdom, and they're almost talking like in a metaphor, right? I
Mm.
remember this, to me, this lesson I learned it almost 15 years ago, right? It was when Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, right? He said that, hey, you want something, give it. And I was like, what? How can I give what I don't have? You see now the lack mentality where it's coming in.
Yeah, yeah,
So now the guy, I'm like, wait a minute. So you too, you may have listened that line from Napoleon Hill or Jim Rohn or all the classic people, they say the same thing, right? But we don't stop and internalize, right? Why is he saying that whatever you want, give it?
Yeah.
What if what they meant, again, I'm saying, what if what they meant is sharing was
Mm.
that if you want other people to share with whatever they have, you have to share with them whatever you have. Now, how much things do you have to share? Don't you have enough things in your life right now? Even if you're
Yeah.
saying, oh, I don't have this, but you have so much you can share. Your time, your knowledge, let's even this podcast itself.
Yeah.
What if you shared it with someone? What does it mean? Now, you want other people to share something with you, you have to share something with them. It doesn't mean anything, just the gesture of sharing. If
Yeah.
you want the universe to share with you, it's abundance of things, with its generosity, right? It's
Yeah.
love. Why don't you share the same?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You already have it. You already possess everything. You possess the knowledge. You possess the services. Just wake up in the morning and say, hey, who am I going to have opportunity to share the gifts that I have? Just think
Mm.
about that. That's
Yeah.
how you open your door to the world. Looking
Amazing.
who, yes, who to share with, not to take away or give them anything. No.
Mhm.
And also being open to receiving those who are going to be sharing whatever they're sharing with you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great intention to have one first thing in the morning when you wake up, because typically when we first wake up in the morning, we're bombarded with all these thoughts, right? Like whatever it is that we usually think about first thing in the morning. So if we're able to set that intention first thing when we open our eyes, when we start to think, and then our brain gets active, and we're like, hmm, I wonder who I get to share this day with today, or who I get to share my gifts with today. And then all throughout your day, right? Like looking for those opportunities when you can share, when you can
Mhm,
add value,
mhm.
right? Yeah, that's amazing. Just that one thing. Like that could be an action step for today, actually, for this
There
episode.
you go. And I have a saying, an acronym that I come up with
Of
some
course
time
you
ago,
have.
and you may have heard me talk about it, right? I tell people, show up, share, you will shine.
Yeah, yeah,
Show up anywhere and share. What are you going to share? Anything, just share.
anything.
In return, you're going to shine. Who doesn't want to shine? Who
Right.
doesn't want the sunshine? Just think about how beautiful the sunshine is to
Yes.
you. What if you can be that sunshine to the world?
Yeah.
You know, you want the sunshine. You're grateful to have sunshine, the sun shining on you, right? What if you can be that sunshine to the universe? Because there's some people who are in the dark places. They need that light.
Yeah.
And all you need to do is show up and share.
Yeah. Who can I
And you
share
will
my
share.
light with today?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. So we
You
gave
know?
you a couple action steps, a couple of exercises, actually, a couple of tools. So one is, again, this is all organic. We didn't even plan. Right. So one is wake up first thing in the morning and ask, who do I get to share my gifts with today? Right. And in that wonder and that curiosity, like, I wonder who I get to share this, my gifts today. And then have the intention for the rest of the day to show up, share, and shine. And
And
not being attached to what you're going to be sharing,
no,
because it could be anything, right?
yes, it could
Yeah,
be anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So this has been Organic Reach X.
We show you how to go with the flow organically in your business.
See you next time.
Yeah.